Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information during the holiday gift-giving season. Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you're not out brazen, working around the crowds and that kind of thing. You're just kicking back and enjoying your vessel like Mike the Mariner, who I can see on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live today. He's just kicked back on the helm. The weather looks awesome. Just sitting out on your vessel and giving us a little view of the dock that he's anchored at right now.
Yeah, the dock that he will not be at for very much longer.
That's right. Just long enough to do the show, and then he's off. Maybe not even that long, actually.
No, we're not at home right now. We're actually in Crescent City, Florida, at a place called Renegades.
Oh,
about
okay.
55 miles away.
There you go.
So you're sitting at the dock by the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Dock by the bay.
Sounds familiar. That's pretty catchy.
Okay.
That is
Dock of the bay.
Could be something to that. I don't know.
Yeah, we're up here for a couple of days to enjoy the weather and some great music and food.
Yeah. Have you already seen some boat lights for like Christmas light boat parades yet? Is there anything going on yet, or no?
Not yet. In mid-December, there will be some boat parades in a couple of areas not far from where we are, and we might participate in one of them. We're thinking about going up to DeLand and participating in that one.
All right. Yeah. As you should. You got the vessel. Just got to throw a few lights on it, and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, everyone's just kind of, I don't know, recovering from Turkey Day, and we might be a little slow today because everybody's like, kind of overloaded. I mean, look at Barry. I mean, how many turkeys did you eat, Barry?
My daughter made a Thanksgiving dinner, and it was fantastic.
All right. Well, there you go. So we might fall asleep halfway through the show because it's just what turkey does to you.
Well, that won't be because of the turkey.
Oh, well, here I had this excuse all planned, Barry, and you just blew it.
Part of the content, Barry. Come on,
the crew I have to work with.
Well, after Turkey Day comes Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, and I came up with an idea to make a little bit of money since we haven't gotten a raise in 20 years.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you announce something yesterday for Black Friday?
I was thinking about it, and there was a lot of thumbs up for the Halloween mask that I had made. So I came
by
up
who?
with
I don't think it was a thumb that was raised from what I saw.
It may not have been, but I have come up with a new product that I think is going to sell. It is the new Greg. Look at that.
Gee,
Greg Holt on a stick. And
what was he on when you took that picture?
I'll tell you what.
I don't know.
I don't know. You look at YouTube and Facebook Live and Twitch. People right now are going, "Holy crap! What is happening?"
Yes. So I think
the realistic representation of what you've created there is impressive. And I'll tell you what. Besides the googly eyes, that is a handsome man. Come on, admit it.
No, those are your eyes. You know it. For only $4.95, you can get this handmade and hand numbered.
$4.95, really?
Actually, I think
$4.95. I think they'll sell for $4.95, don't you? Greg on a stick.
I want to see those made into an actual ice cream bar.
Oh,
can you have that made in like a Greg Holt ice cream bar?
I am Greg, your first mate. Lick me.
Because he's totally vanilla inside.
Well, okay, you have gumballs for eyeballs there, but I think you could make them into a fan. You could use them for target practice.
Yeah, but if we had a Greg Holt ice cream bar, you could have a little monkey heart on the stick that you'd have to eat, and then you could get to the monkey heart.
Yeah, and it tastes like what, chocolate or something? Yeah. The chocolatey middle of the monkey heart. Okay.
So if anyone wants to send in ideas of other things that you could do with this, be more than happy to find out.
I say you
for next
post it in
week's
your
show.
front yard.
Careful what
It'll
you
keep away the intruders. That's for sure. It'll be like a
Could
new
be.
security system. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm even creeped out by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you did to the eyes, Barry, but that's just
Yeah, Barry, you got to do the backside, so when you flip it around, it's like Greg, but with a different look on his face.
Well, that's the other side of Greg. If you look in the camera of Greg right now, it's pretty much the same color and everything.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Barry, way to make things very awkward. He's obviously obsessed with me, and he's made me on a stick to
I have
enhance
to
his
make some money,
holidays.
man. Yeah, I got to pay the bills.
So you expect to sell those, or you're going to threaten to deliver them to bad little boys and girls unless they pay you
I
money?
figure people are going to want to buy them, and maybe they could show up at a concert or something, all holding these signs.
Okay, all right.
Masks.
Well, Barry has obviously lost it, but that's okay. It's the holidays; he can get away with it. Probably drank too much eggnog or something. Or whoa.
So,
right. Moving on,
Mike. Now that you're up in transit, are you looking for a new home for your boat?
No.
Yeah,
no,
why
I have
would
no
he be?
plans to, what have you heard that I haven't?
Yeah.
Sanford officials dismayed by rough shape of Marina's docks and facilities in the Orlando Sentinel this past week. Sanford Marina on Lake Monroe, considered one of the main draws in the city's downtown, has seen better days. Most of the docks are in rough shape. The concrete is cracked and crumbling in areas, and the buildings used to store boats and house laundry facilities are outdated, states a recent inspection report contracted by Sanford and released this week, which means, you know what, Mike? The city is going to have to spend at least $2.3 million, might as well double that. Let's make it an even $5 million, to immediately make much-needed repairs and replace old docks. Sanford officials decided not to renew the current decades-long lease with Monroe Harbor Marina, which means they're going to be looking for a new management company to oversee the marina operations, which means what?
Prices go up.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
But besides that, so what is the laundry facility now? Is it one of those old tubs with the squeegee thing, or did they just have rocks on the side?
It's actually not bad. So the facilities are dated, but they're in decent shape. The laundry rooms are fine. The bathrooms are okay. They need to be renovated, but they're clean generally. Okay.
So basically, it's a hole in the floor that you use.
But
Wrong.
Not all the and by the way, in that article, they in the Orlando Sentinel, they showed a picture of some docks. Those docks are not associated with our marina. They are associated with an event center adjacent to the marina. Those docks are not even part of the marina. My dock is in fine shape. The electrical and the water system needs some work, but the docks are in great shape.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is they're not renewing the lease with the current management company. They're going to search for a new one. They're going to look for someone who can raise the revenue so that the city doesn't have to pay for it, which means the costs are going to get passed on to
us.
Well, maybe.
I'm sure.
I mean, do you feel that you got a pretty good deal going right now there, Mike, where you are, or what? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually, I believe it's fairly priced, and would I like to have some other amenities like a swimming pool and some other stuff that some other marinas have? Sure, but it's in a great location for what we're doing with the boat right now.
Mm-hmm.
The value is good. It's just fine. It's the best hurricane hole in Florida. I mean, it's a very protected area during hurricane season.
Sure.
So there's a lot of good things about the marina. Not all the docks are all in bad shape.
Well, how much would it have to go up for you to go like, okay, this is too much? I mean, if they had to increase it by 10, 20%, would you still think it's a pretty decent deal?
Well, right now he pays one chicken and a bushel of corn a month.
I don't think that is accurate.
Well, no, because here's the thing. In 1967, Sanford signed a 55-year lease with a marina company to rent a portion of the land the city owns on Marina Island. I mean, this has been this 55-year lease expires in May.
Well, they're time for an upgrade then. But I'm just wondering, if they did upgrade some stuff, would you say, okay, I would accept that if they did this, this, and this for like another 20%, and you still feel you had a pretty good deal there, Mike, or no?
Yeah, I would. Sure, it's a great location, and it's a good value.
Okay. Well, see, you'll just have to see how it goes, I guess. I mean, but yeah. You never want to hear that your rates are going to go up, but if they provide the services that make it, upgrade it, maybe it'll be worth it, Patrick. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: the city officials and the management company that signed this 55-year lease. I mean, that's insane. I mean, that is absolutely insane.
They've gone to the next world. They don't care.
That's right. They don't. They're not even here anymore. So
they have long disagreed on who should be responsible for the major repairs, stating the lease was written more than half a century ago and does not detail specific maintenance of the property.
He's finding some kind of, I don't know. Patrick's pleased with this.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other two-thirds of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Beat it, turkey. I'm in the middle of some Thanksgiving.
Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Gobble, 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 squad. 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 Turkey time, turkey time.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick, Barry the boater. Mike the mariner. Turkey time was, it was Thursday. And I think the squatting part might have been happening today. Barry has that kind of look on his face. Or that could be the cardboard cutout he created of me. I'm not sure. But love that one. Anyway. Yeah. Not that. I love the song.
Okay.
Yeah. What else do we have to navigate through other than Mike the Mariner's possible increase in costs at his home marina?
Well, we do want to hit on this. So Monroe Marina Harbor, the management company, pays Sanford 2.5% of its gross revenues after the first $100,000 it earns annually.
Yeah.
According to the lease agreement.
Mm-hmm.
The city estimates it will receive about $23,000 at the end of this year from the company. Other marinas in Florida of similar size and with lease agreements hand their local governments more than $100,000 a year on average. So what that tells me is costs are going to go up by 75% at least.
We will see.
Calculating that's about $1 million in revenue if they're only getting 2 point. You said 5% or 2.3?
They Sanford gets 2.5%.
Right
after the first 100,000 that the marina earns annually.
So the marina is earning about $1,100,000 annually.
So the city estimates that it will receive $23,000 at the end of this year from the management company. Other marinas in Florida, similar size, hand the local government more than $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about this lease, this 55-year lease, is they have an option to renew it for another 45 years.
What? Who does? The city or the leaseholders?
The lease has the option to renew the agreement for another 45 years.
Well, no. Who? Do both parties have to agree, or
I would imagine they would both have to agree, but they did write that into the lease agreement back in 1967.
Well, that's pretty. Why are you laughing, Patrick?
Because that's insane. That's insane. Nobody hands out a 55-year lease with an option for another 45 years. That's ridiculous. That's 100 years.
Sanford was a different place back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. There was one cow. There was one cow and one stoplight.
Right. No Disney. No nothing in that area.
Well, I mean, it's a thing. They'll have to negotiate, I guess, figure out if they're gonna, work it out.
If they wanted to get $100,000 a year from them, then they'd have to increase the rent by $3,347,826 over the million that they
may
make now.
not go over well with people like Mike the Mariner. So there's going to be two sides to this negotiation. I mean, the city's going to want.
I think they're dumping this company, and they're going to do a search for another company to come in and manage it, and a company that's going to have a financial plan, because what they're looking at is. They thought it was a good lease agreement, when it was signed 55 years ago, and they got a partner in developing the marina. But the last 20 or 30 years, improvements haven't been made. The area's fallen into, and that area, I'll say in the last, what do you say, Mike, 15 years, it has really come to life, that downtown Sanford district.
Sanford has really, really turned a corner and really become a great little venue town.
Yeah.
And that's why we love it so much. It's just a great place for us to spend our weekends and spend our time relaxing. But I'll say this, there are other marinas in the area up and down this river that are in worse shape than Monroe Harbor. Yeah,
but they're not in the heart of downtown Sanford, and it's kind of that area. I mean, I'm going back when I would frequent that area and go to Wolfie's, out on the point and all that, because that was kind of it. Sanford wasn't what it is now. It was kind of this hidden away place, and if you knew about Wolfie's and all that, it was worth the drive going out there. Kind of like going to Blackwater Inn. If you know where it's at, it's worth the drive to get up there. Otherwise, you're probably not up in that area to begin with.
Right. But I mean, the marina I left previously to go when I moved to Monroe Harbor Marina was in far worse condition than Monroe Harbor. I mean, exponentially worse.
Well, are you familiar with the dry stack building they've got there?
Yes.
So they say that's about 85% full, and the management company says it doesn't make sense to build a larger building to store bigger boats, as the city officials suggest and want. And this guy from the management company, I'm not going to say his name, he says, we're in Central Florida, and we're on a lake that is not used by bigger boats. Most of the boats are smaller, and there's not a demand. I disagree. Would you disagree with that?
I mean, you mean high and dry stack?
Correct.
And right now the way the markets have changed in boating, I'm watching a boat come in very fast right now. I would say that any expansion of a dry stack would yield additional revenue for sure.
And it should be able to take bigger boats. I mean, people are putting bigger and bigger boats. I mean, Lake Monroe is not a small lake, you know. I mean, and being able to transit the whole waterway, go all the way up to Port of Jacksonville. I mean, you've got you've got that riverboat out there, number one. So I mean,
there's a 72-foot Italian major yacht on B dock in my marina.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, you can take a very, very large vessel.
Yeah. So Patrick,
navigable all the way to 415.
You're saying if they build it, they will come. More of these bigger vessels will come.
I think if they built, once they open it up and they're able to dry stack larger boats, you're going to find one of the things Mike pointed out was the ability to get your boat inland, especially when a hurricane's approaching and maybe you're out on the coast and you have the ability to trailer it, or even if you've got to run it down the St. John's by water, you can make it in. They can put it in dry stack. Certainly, once you create that facility and you're able to stack larger boats, I'm talking about boats with a larger beam, 14 feet maybe, and overall in length, maybe you're moving up into the 40-foot range because you got center consoles now. There's nothing, a triple engine, 38-foot center console with.
I think we found a new management company for Mike the Mariner's marina. It'd be Captain Patrick. Is that just me? I don't know.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Imagine traveling twice as fast as you can drive. Imagine taking friends and family snorkeling, surfing, skiing, shopping, and more to exotic destinations. Imagine attending business meetings in cities far away and still making it home at night. Or just imagine exploring the wild blue yonder.
Quit dreaming about it and get to it. There has never been a better time to become a private pilot, and Flight Training Professionals in Orlando will show you how. Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is your full-service flight school. A state-of-the-art flight simulator, a fleet of the latest Cessna aircraft, and a staff of full-time seasoned flight instructors are just a few of the many reasons Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is the place to start your aviation adventure. Call 407-896-0077. That's 407-896-0077. Or go to ftpros.com. That's ftpros.com. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Barry the Boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner. All right, so I don't know, Patrick may have found a new career or an extra job he could pick up as the management company for the marina in Sanford. He has all these great ideas. He could rake in the big bucks. He knows what they need. I think we got a fairly good candidate for them to consider. Mike the Mariner, back me up. Would you give him your vote if Patrick came in there and renovated the place for you?
Well, he wants to raise my rent. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Do I get a
but he's
special
going to
deal?
offer hot dogs on the weekends.
Oh, he is.
Hey there, one percenter with the mega yacht. I think you can afford an extra $400 a month.
Okay. Well, with that kind of attitude, he will not get the job, I'm thinking.
It's the Captain Patrick Dry Dock and Hot Dog Stand.
Interesting. Okay.
A free hot dog with every boat rental.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So we've covered that enough. We'll see where that evolves. What else we got today there, Patrick?
So talking about boat rentals, there's been a big movement the last few years with people kind of doing an Airbnb with their boats. And something that if you are so inclined to do this, and let's say the last couple of years you've bought a new boat, that if you're getting involved with one of these companies that list your boat for you, and it becomes kind of part of a boat share program, and they're like, you can make money by letting other people use your boat. Be aware that the boat manufacturer, the engine manufacturer, and if you have an extended warranty on that new boat, that may not be covered. If you are using the boat, they may consider that you're using it for commercial purposes.
Commercial purpose.
Commercial use,
So you want to make sure that if you are so inclined to take advantage of one of these companies, and you're going to do that with your boat, because I want the boat to pay for itself, and I'm only using it one weekend a month.
Fractional ownership. Yeah. Timeshare kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of. But, if it's you can make money with your boat, be aware they're going to consider it to be a commercial enterprise, and your warranty is probably going to be null and void.
Well, that's good to know. And we'll mull that over and maybe talk more about it next. Stay close to the world of boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Here you go, man. Merry Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
What's the matter with him? Them jingle bells got him. They're jingling all the way. Look at that.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Look at that.
Jingle, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick, Barry the boater. Mike the mariner rounding out the crew. All right, so if you want to get a new boat, awesome. Just in time for Christmas. But if you want to do that, fractional ownership thing, that may be an option to consider. But Patrick just pointed out, like, hey, look, you better check with your manufacturer. Make sure if you do purchase a boat, plan to share it with other owners, that you may be voiding your warranty depending on which manufacturer you're dealing with. I would imagine there's ways to work around that, isn't there, Patrick? Or
No.
Not at all?
Not. I guess the only way that you could work around it is if you went and bought a third-party warranty that would cover, the boat, since it's being used for commercial purposes. Plus, you have to look at your insurance requirements and make sure that you have the proper insurance for your boat, because, again, it's part of a fractional ownership, and, Joe takes your boat out and runs it up on, tries to cut across the inlet and, runs it up on the jetty. Your insurance company is going to be like, yeah, we're not covering that.
Yeah, well, they do this a lot in the aviation world with aircraft. And one of the things I know they do, like if you do it yourself, well, you technically do, say if you had like 4 people and you're going to share the ownership of the airplane, or in this case, a boat, you would set up like an LLC or some kind of corporate group ownership of it that the 4 of you share. And
Sure.
That kind of thing, and then you take care of the insurance and all that element. But I don't know about the warranty thing. I guess that's a different thing. What do you, Mike the mariner? What do you say? Do you know anything about that, Mike?
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So we were talking about Airbnb. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
We were talking about Airbnb earlier. Okay, we were talking about Airbnb earlier. That's a little different, and I've we've looked into that. We were taking a couple of trips and looking into Airbnb, staying with Airbnb on a boat.
Right.
I have friends that own a houseboat that use it with Airbnb for guests, and they don't let anybody drive the boat. The boat stays at the marina. It's just a boat sleepover experience for whoever's coming to the marina.
Accommodations.
And most of the people that are doing that, most of the boats we looked at when we were talking about going up to St. Augustine for a weekend and staying on one, they're older boats. They're not new. So the warranty issue really isn't there, but the insurance issue really is.
Right.
But again, these weren't boats that we were going to be allowed to drive anywhere. It was just staying in the marina.
Makes sense. Patrick, what say you?
Well, your example of, forming an LLC, that's a workaround, because then it's registered to a corporation. A corporation owns it. Mm-hmm. So, that is but there are people out there that, with the Airbnb or the boat version of Airbnb that, we're really not using the boat as much. I mean, this is an afterthought. They've had it for a year. They're not using it as much. Let's make some money off of it. And they go into that. And then you find out that, the boat manufacturer, maybe there's a particular individual whose name rhymes with hat trick, who maybe had a customer who was doing this and did a little, Facebook is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. You can find out all kinds of stuff. And I found that this particular customer was using their boat as part of a fractional ownership, and it voided not only our warranty, it voided the engine manufacturer's warranty, it voided the extended warranty, and it pretty much, boat manufacturers would be like, our warranty is our warranty, and it's not set up for this. We specifically say, cannot be used for commercial purposes, and you're using it for commercial purposes. So it's something to be aware of, that just do your homework, and before you enter into something like that, make sure that you're covered. Mike had brought up in our pre-show meeting a story about these two yacht delivery captains that were moving a customer's boat and actually engaged in a hit and run on the water. And I'm not laughing. It's just it's how you manage to hit a sailboat and then go away, and not even stop and render aid. The question came up is, who is liable for the damage to the sailboat? Is it the delivery captains, or is it the owner of the boat and his insurance company? And if you are hiring a boat transport company, in this case, maybe a delivery captain, and they're going to move your boat for you, make sure that they are properly insured in case something like that occurs, to where you're not left on the hook.
And there's a couple of issues there. One, no matter what the liability is with the owner of the vessel, they conducted some actions that broke the law. They hit a boat. They hit a boat and they left the scene, and they did not render assistance to clearly the three people on the sailboat that they hit, that their boat hit. So that they have a whole range of legal and potential criminal liability there that has nothing to do with insurance.
Oh yeah, well, if they are truly licensed merchant mariners, you wind up going to maritime court, is where a case will be heard, and the catch-all is guilty of gross negligence. That is something that I was taught. It was gone over in detail when I was pursuing getting my merchant mariner credential, that the court of law, civilian court, is one thing. Maritime court, completely different. Rules of evidence, so on and so forth. And, if you're engaged in that business, you need to make sure that you are, properly insured and set up in case something like that happens. Hopefully that wouldn't, but there are things that happen out on the water. You're in transit with a boat, and a bilge pump fails, a transmission fails, something happens, and the owner of the boat is like, well, you're paying for that, right? And you're like, no, I'm just running your boat. Well, obviously you did something wrong with it. The transmission was fine. So you need to make sure that you're covered. Otherwise, you're taking a bath financially.
Yeah, well, I think in this particular instance, there's two different ways to look at this fractional ownership situation that kind of applies to this because, of course, if you buy the boat and then you just put it up on Facebook and offer it up like an Airbnb type of situation, that's one thing, and you're opening yourself up to big-time liability. But there's management companies that do this. And they take care of the maintenance, they take care of the warranty, they take care of the insurance. They're out there. You can do that, but you just got to go to a reputable business that has a track record, and it's basically a boat ownership management company, right, Patrick?
Well, fractional ownership is owning a piece of the boat.
Well, either way, but you're setting it up as like a timeshare kind of thing. There are companies that do that are basically management companies. Right.
But what he's talking about is someone's just taking their boat and then putting it, as you said, on Facebook or something.
Right.
And just
that's too. I think that is a big.
That is different.
Yeah, that's a big problem. If you're going to do it, go through a management company and make sure you're covered, and all those other bases are taken care of, whether it's insurance, liability, warranty, and all that kind of stuff. That's what they're there for. But if you try to go do it on your own, you may think, I'll save a bunch of money just doing it on my own. You're opening yourself up or opening that can of worms that could expose you to some serious problems down the road. I think that's what you're saying. Right, Patrick?
Kind of, sort of, but not really. The other thing to think about is, you open your boat up, to fractional ownership, and, Bob takes the boat out and, has a really bad day out on the water and smacks the heck out of it coming into the dock.
Right.
And he's like, well, don't know what happened. And then it's like, okay, who's paying for this? Well, I'm not paying for it.
Well, but if the management company, if you've done it, set it up through a management company, they have to make sure the other person that's using your vessel is covered, or they have an insurance policy to kind of handle the rental side of these things. Because what do you mean?
Again, but fractional ownership is not the same as rental. If you buy into these vacation homes where everyone, it's $100,000
timeshare
home, timeshare, and everyone put $10,000 into it, they're all liable for the operating expenses, and they all divvy up the income at the end of the year. That's what you're talking about.
All right, now let me just, I'm not going to mention the fractional ownership company, but there's one that's on the southwest coast of Florida.
Yeah.
And they allow, I own this boat, you're going to take it over for me, and then they sell shares in the boat to their customers.
Yep, they manage it for you. All right, more coming up on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact ink K7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
What do you get the person who has everything already, huh? I can only think of one thing. A friggin' yacht!
Oh. So we can have parties on there?
Well, it's gonna be kind of hard to do that after I do this.
Merry Christmas!
Ho, 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 ho! Wait, where are you guys going?
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Barry the Boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner. During this holiday weekend, hopefully you're getting all the gifts you need to get, or you've already got them. Because if you haven't, they're probably going to be sitting out on a boat off the coast of California and won't get delivered till far after the first of the year. So maybe you're working ahead or you're just skipping it altogether, whatever works for you. Get a boat, fractional ownership, whatever the case may be. I mean, honestly, Patrick, you sound like you're real down on the idea, but I think that is a great solution for a lot of folks, especially in the sailboat world, which I think is who you were alluding to earlier with that company that does the fractional ownership thing off the west coast of Florida and around the world. Am I right or no?
You're wrong.
Yeah, it's not the company you're thinking of? The moorings. Well, you can say the moorings. They do that.
It is not. That is not the company.
But a lot of in the sailboat world, when you get into those bigger yachts, they do a lot of that kind of thing. It's a very popular way to get into boating and not have to have all the ownership headaches.
Okay, if you're going to do something like that, then if you want to get into boating, you're not sure what kind of boat really fits your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Then you go and you invest some money in joining like Freedom Boat Club, and you get use of multiple different types of boats. And if you decide to make the jump to where I'm going to buy my own, at least you've had a chance to go out and try a bunch of different ones. It'd be like if I was interested in, buying a new pickup truck, it'd be great to have like a pickup truck club where I could go
or a
and
lease.
I
could just get a lease for a while.
Where
I
could go drive a bunch of different pickup trucks. I could drive, new Ford F-150 Lightning. I could drive a Silverado. I could drive a Dodge Ram. I would never drive a Honda Ridgeline because they would never offer those as pickup rental. Because it really, really kind of falls into the sport utility category, I think.
So you would want a Hyundai Santa Cruz. You're one of those kind of people.
No.
Okay.
But speaking of GM and automotive stuff, GM announced that they have acquired a 25% stake in Pure Watercraft, a Seattle-based e-propulsion outfit, and they've acquired this 25% stake for $150 million.
Bargain. Yeah.
GM said in a statement the company is committed to investing $35 billion with a B in electric and autonomous vehicle technology over the next 4 years. And the deal with Pure Watercraft reflects its own mission to take a holistic approach necessary for widespread EV adoption. I'm not sure about the holistic approach, but nice to see that they're jumping on board, if you will, with electric propulsion. GM getting involved with that. That's a pretty notable in the marine industry that they're making that jump. Let me ask you guys something. Barry and Mike, as boat owners and
and Greg is an enthusiast. Yeah, go
Greg
ahead.
as a wannabe. How long would you be willing to wait to have your boat repaired? What's the longest amount of time?
Well, it depends on the job.
What it is.
Yeah.
Let's say a tune-up or something like that. The average maintenance.
Okay. I don't know.
So I typically have to schedule annuals and things like that about a month and a half out.
Yeah.
Get on a schedule for scheduled work. Myself and some others that I'm friends with have had some challenges getting emergency repairs done. The marine mechanic industry is going gangbusters. If you're a tradesman,
you're making tons of money.
Inclined,
you're not.
You can make a lot of money.
You're not starving for work.
Right
that's
now.
for sure.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing. The Sarasota couple, they bought this boat, and they needed to get some maintenance work done, and the boat repair facility kept finding stuff wrong. They're working on the engine. Then they find that the transom is compromised. 3 years.
3 years?
3 years. They have been without their boat. Now, I've got a couple things that I found a little fishy, no pun intended, with this story. The gentleman involved, name of Mr. Johnny Smalls.
The mechanic you're talking about.
No, this is the guy who owns the boat.
Oh, okay.
It's out of a movie, that name.
This is the actual quote from the story. I built boats for 30 years, and I had 2 boats and never put one in the water, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out, me and my brothers, fish and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy built boats for 30 years, bought this boat, and it's got, listen, replacing a transom might be out of the realm of a lot of people, but it's really not that bad once you get the engine out, the transom assembly out.
But it shouldn't take 3 years. Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yeah, they're $8,500 later. Because this repair shop is like, hey, we got this, you got this, you got this, and now their bill is $8,500.
But that's over 3 years. That's not that bad over 3 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. These guys had background in boating for such a long time, yet they bought a boat and they had no idea it had all these issues.
Something sounds kind of fishy to me. I'm with you there, Patrick. Yeah, right, exactly. All right, well, on that note, we'll wrap it up for this week. Till next time, remember, whether it is sail or motor,
life is better as a motor.
Safe boating, everyone.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab!
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.